Greetings, Fleshy Mammals, and welcome back to another Naruto the Boruto Shinobi Striker build video. Today, we're going to be putting together the ultimate Uchiha build. Now, this is actually very weird to me because I would have thought that I would have actually done an Uchiha build before, but turns out I actually haven't. I've done a Sharingan build and Sasuke the last build, but I've never actually done an Uchiha themed build. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Let's go!
I'll erase you here.
Starting things off with the weapon as usual. This time we actually decided to go with the new weapon, which is the Ninja Blade Uchiha. Now, the reasoning for this is pretty simple. It's literally called Ninja Blade Uchiha. The combos and everything, the stats and all that, are exactly the same as the Kusanagi sword and Sasuke's Ninja Blade. So, generally, you can literally use whichever Kusanagi sword you want. You can use the normal Kusanagi sword, you can use the Orochimaru Kusanagi sword, you can use Sasuke's Kusanagi sword, or you can just use the Ninja Blade Uchiha. They all have the exact same combos. The only difference between all of these different weapons is that they just look different. That's it. The combos and stats for all these weapons are the same. Now, my reasoning for picking this, besides just the name, is, well, I like the combos on the Kusanagi sword. Like, I've been over this a million times. I just love the Kusanagi sword combos. They work with pretty much everything. I just love doing the air combo and then just throwing in the Demon Wind Shuriken at the end or a Jutsu at the end. I just feel like the Kusanagi swords combos are just overall really good, both in the air and on the ground. So yeah, that's why I went with the Ninja Blade Uchiha. For the ninja tool, I actually decided to go with the Demon Wind Shuriken. Now, what a surprise. Casual picks Demon Wind Shuriken for a range type build. Well, guess what? Demon Wind Shuriken is still one of the best, if not the best, ninja tool in the entire game, in my opinion. It is super strong. Throwing it can lead to jutsu's worth of damage. On top of that, it has incredible tracking and range. And it's very good at the end of combos, and in specific situations, you can actually instant kill someone by throwing it at them when they're near the edge, and you can actually cause them to not be able to recover by using it. It is an extremely powerful ninja tool and very spammable. For the top skill, I actually decided to go with Spiteful Spirit, which actually lengthens the amount of time that enemies suffer from status ailments. So basically, if you set someone on fire, it lasts longer. If you slow down their movement speed, it lasts longer, you know, stuff like that. Overall, a very good skill to have on range types, considering that like pretty much every move they have has some sort of status ailment. So yeah, that's pretty much the main reason why I went with it, and you guys are going to see how powerful it actually is when we make it down to the ninjutsus. For the bottom skill, this is a little bit different. I don't normally use this skill, and that is Armed and Dangerous, which actually shortens the ninja tool cooldown time. Now this, remember what I said about the Demon Wind Shuriken becoming spammable, being spammable? Well, guess what? Fucking increase that from a 5 level of spam to a freaking 10. You can literally throw out the Demon Wind Shuriken just one after another. By the time your opponent has recovered from the first Demon Wind Shuriken, you already have another Demon Wind Shuriken ready, and that is actually hilarious. It is honestly one of the funniest things, and it's actually a very good thing because the Demon Wind Shuriken kind of like acts as a bit of a get off me button for most range types in a lot of different situations. Having this as our bottom skill is just overall a very good thing. However, you can swap this off for decreased ninjutsu cooldown times. You can go with either or, but I say go with armed and dangerous because it is very strong. Alright, so for the accessory skill, as usual, this one is pretty much just up to you guys, as it does completely depend on your skill level, your play style, and all of that. However, I decided to go with Battle Hardened. This is the one that I recommend for most builds, because sometimes if you don't have a healer, it's a bit of a bitch. But basically, Battle Hardened actually just refills a set amount of health after you defeat an enemy. So the more KOs you get, the more health you get back. Generally, that's how it works, and it's overall a pretty good thing to have as far as an accessory skill goes. For our first ninjutsu, I went with Majestic Destroyer Flame. Now, this one is one that Madara uses, and as an Uchiha-based build, we gotta throw in some Madara stuff in there, and obviously Majestic Destroyer Destroy Flame is probably one of the best range type jutsus in general. It does insane amounts of damage right off the bat. It beats Sand Shield, which is also very good. On top of that, has pretty good tracking, and it's massive, so you know, good tracking plus massive equals big boom. Anyways, also it lights people on fire so they actually burn, which is where our status summon duration comes into play. When you hit someone with this, not only are they taking a big burst of damage, but they're also taking the damage over time from Majestic Destroy Flame, which is actually quite a bit. So that's pretty much the main reason why I went with Majestic Destroy Flame. Overall, it's an extremely powerful jutsu as far as the range types are concerned. For the second ninjutsu, I actually decided to go with something a little bit different this time around. I actually went with Amaterasu. Now this one is Itachi's move, and I guess you can kind of consider it Sasuke's move as well, since they both use Amaterasu, but yeah, we're using Amaterasu in this build, and the reasoning for this is because it's just, well, more burn damage on top of the Majestic Destroy Flame damage, and it's also a very strong obstacle for opponents. Basically, as soon as they touch this, they just instantly just go up in flames, and they get like a little bit of a stun going on, which is extremely good, especially on base battle, where you kind of just put the flame on top of the base, and basically as soon as anyone touches it, they're gonna start burning, and they're gonna start taking some more damage because you're gonna be hitting them in the face. But yeah, that's why I went with Amaterasu. Overall, I think it's a very good move. Also, if you knock someone down, you can actually throw it on top of them, and as soon as they wake up, you can, well, start hitting them again because now they're burning. It also beats Demon Hunter, which is something that I didn't know. Demon Hunter is a move that actually the defense types use, where they have super armor, and basically this move completely beats it. So yeah, that's very strong, especially pretty much anything that beats out defense type shit is a win in my book. Alright, now for the substitution. This one's obvious. I went with Shadow Clone Jutsu. In my opinion, Shadow Clone Jutsu is just the best middle ground for the substitution jutsus in this game. But you can also go with the log substitution, you can go with the bird clone jutsu, you can go with any of those, or you can even go with the wood clone jutsu because Madara uses that one as well. But overall, I just decided to go with the Shadow Clone Jutsu just because it's a very good middle ground as far as the substitutions are concerned, because for the 30-second cooldown substitutions, I feel like that's a little bit too long sometimes, and the log substitution and high-speed movement for the 20-second cooldown ones, the opponent is still locked onto you when you sub, so that's not great either. However, Shadow Clone Jutsu is 25 seconds, so it's in between, so you're gonna have it faster than the other cloning jutsus. Your opponent doesn't get to stay locked onto you when you sub, so it's a very good middle ground for me. However, like I said, you can go with the bird clone jutsu or the wood clone jutsu, whichever one you prefer, but I do recommend using the Shadow Clone Jutsu just because it can get you out of sticky situations a little bit faster than the other cloning jutsus. And finally, we have our ultimate attack. Now, we have quite a few to choose from here. We can go with Totsuka Blade, we can go with Susanoo Flame Control, we can go with Kirin, we can go with Takumi Kazuchi no Kami, we can go with Heaven Concealed, and for this build, I decided to go with Heaven Concealed. But like I said, you can go with any one of those jutsus. They all work incredibly well. However, this time around, I decided to go with Heaven Concealed just because, well, it's got a big blast radius, and it's a big fuck off in base battle and barrier battle. Like, if you summon that meteor, they just scatter. Everyone scatters. So you can use it as a way to control the flow of the match, like kind of like the area. You can control a big area with the meteor. However, it is very slow. Extremely slow. It is probably one of the slowest moves in the entire game because, one, you got the Susanoo startup to summon the meteor, and then you got to get the meteor to come down. So generally, if someone dies from this, it's completely their fault, like 100%, because there was so many big signs that it was coming in. But yeah, generally I feel like this one's good for controlling large spaces. But like I said, you can go with Totsuka Blade if you want, you can go with Kirin, you can go with Susanoo Flame Control, you can go with Takumi Kazuchi no Kami, you can go with whichever one of those you guys want, any of the Susanoo ones, any of the Sasuke ones, doesn't matter. But I went with Heaven Concealed this time around. Alright, that is it for this build. Honestly, this one was a ton of fun to put together, and I had a ton of fun collecting the gameplay for it, just playing around with the build, you know, doing the whole mix and match process that I normally go through with most of these builds that I make. Because, like, honestly, that's probably the most fun part about making a build, just literally trying out a bunch of random shit. But yeah, honestly, it was a ton of fun. And if you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys liked the build, be sure to drop a like and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. It's been casual.